Hi, girlfriends. For me, when it comes to negotiating a divorce or a custody agreement, my question is always, what are the issues in this case and how do we draft provisions that are going to make those issues less problematic? So, a lot of times, custody and visitation issues are some of the first to come to the forefront. And something that I can think of that happened recently relates to travel arrangements for vacations. So, if that's your issue in your case, then how do you draft an agreement that's going to prevent those issues from coming up? Well, it's going to depend on what the issue is. I like to put agreements together that have as many details as possible so that we have a framework for how to work around these issues, work through these issues, so that going into the divorce or going into the breakup, we know how we're going to resolve these issues. And we can do that all sorts of ways. We can do that, for example, by including a provision that says that the parents are going to have X number of weeks over the summer and that they're responsible for choosing those weeks by a certain date. We can give the preference to one parent in odd years and the preference to another parent in even years. If we have a concern about where the vacation might be or with whom the other parent would be staying, we can work that information into the agreement too. It is pretty common to include itinerary information, but we can specify exactly what information constitutes itinerary information. And I know you can say, well, by putting all those details in, you just, have a way to kind of have gotcha moments with your other parent. And that's true. And I would say in general, it's not a good idea to just put in extra provisions just to add an element of control or create a place of contention that doesn't exist. What I'm saying is use the provisions that you include to specifically target the problems that you expect will come up. And if you expect that vacations are going to be an issue, then spend your time and energy coming up with provisions that relate to vacation, relate to the information that you need shared about the itinerary and contact during that period, so that you can solve those issues ahead of time, not wait till they become a problem and not create a bunch of so flying back and forth between you and your ex, but draft those provisions to solve a problem. Don't just blindly throw them in. And if then the vacation arrangements are not a problem, maybe spend your energy where it is a problem. Say, on the other hand, you're worried that instead of taking his parenting time, he's going to dump the kids with his parent or with a new girlfriend. Maybe you want to include something like a first right of refusal instead to address those concerns. But if that's not your concern, maybe those aren't the right provisions. So it's always a question of looking at the individual case, looking at the individual parties, anticipating the problems, and coming up with provisions that will address those problems ahead of time so that they don't become festering issues over the long term.